Everything started going downhill when I was 11. I was always hurt, all the time. I was in and out of the ER with another injury basically every 2 weeks. I was always hurt, I bruised really easy, I was always sick, and no one put all the pieces together until I got hurt in a basketball game when I was 11 and I developed CRPS.
She twisted her ankle and it just never got better. About a week later, she was unable to walk on it. It led to her going to a hospital in Boston and getting a diagnosis of complex regional pain syndrome.
Which basically means, in a very short explanation, that I have nerve pain all the time, forever. The pain receptors in my brain are stuck on. So everything around me just translates into pain. So touch, sound, basically breathing really makes everything hurt. By the end of the year, I couldn't walk anymore, ended up on crutches, then a wheelchair. I just couldn't really function. Couldn't go to school, couldn't handle people talking to me, couldn't stand without help because everything hurt so much.
And this all just kind of had this spiraling effect that everything seemed to be happening at once with her body. She was having a lot more nausea and GI symptoms, and the pain became unbearable. So they also sent her to genetics at that same time. And that's when she got the diagnosis of hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a genetic connective tissue disorder. So not only could she now not walk on her left foot from this injury that never got better, but we were told she had a multisystemic disorder that could potentially affect the rest of her life.
The connective tissue in my body is basically taffy, while yours is like a rubber band. Connective tissue is literally what holds your entire body together. Your organs are made out of it, your brain, all your joints. So I can dislocate any joint in my body at any time. I pop up my ribs, my knees, my ankles, my wrists, which are very painful, which means I can't play sports. I can't do high impact activities, which before we knew caused a lot of permanent damage because I played sports.
My greatest fears at that time ended up coming true later on as she's progressed in her disease and gotten worse. So she went from being a regular kid, you have dreams and thoughts for your children and what they're gonna do, and then all of a sudden we were thrown into a world of all we did was travel on buses and trains and planes, looking for doctors who thought they could help her. The nerve pain that started during that basketball game, that week she said to me one phrase, "My foot hurts." And now that she's 19, that's, it's never stopped. So, there's different conditions and no one wants their kid to be sick. But CRPS is nicknamed the suicide disease because it's so hard for people to live with the constant pain. See, that's the hardest part as a parent is just watching her suffer all the time, and I can't do anything about it. When she tells me her foot hurts and you have to be quiet, you can't touch me, you can't hug me, go away. And it's not because she doesn't want to be with somebody. It's not because she doesn't want to go hang out with her friends or do normal teenage activities, but literally just going in the car causes her so much pain. So she's been left with no options but to isolate herself and spend a lot of time in bed and in pain. And there's just nothing I can do to help her, which is the worst part about it.
All the restrictions that I ended up having were just so insane that the only thing I could really do was just art. It's the only thing that didn't hurt me.
She had a doctor in Atlanta that just knew how much she was suffering and had referred her to Make-A-Wish in New Hampshire. When she was approved, it was a time in Emma's life when things had been pretty dark from all the medical stuff she'd been through.
I didn't actually know until that envelope came in the mail that I even qualified. She did it all secretly to try and give me such an awesome gift and surprise.
We're an agency of hope. Make-A-Wish takes a family, not only the child, but the family, from a seemingly hopeless situation. The hospital, the white lab coats, the stethoscopes. And that's what we're about. That's what we're about. It's not about me and you. It's about those children.
I never would have dreamed the art studio that they were able to put in my small apartment. It is something we never could have done on our own, and they literally transformed a small 2-bedroom apartment into an entire art studio for a 19-year-old, now young woman to have for the rest of her life.
Art basically became my lifeline. It basically became the only thing in my life that made me happy or made the pain more manageable, even with my treatments.
There's something about being aware of how fortunate you are and being able to express your gratitude by helping those who are less fortunate.
My diseases are still progressing, they're still getting worse. I can't stand without braces anymore, or my legs will give out. It's not fun, which is difficult, but the one thing that's not changing is the art.
Meeting with her wish granters for the first time gave her people supporting her and talking to her about what did she want in her life and what would have meaning for her. It was a really big moment of hope in her life.
What this wish means to me is just honestly hope and sanity. I mean, it's so much more than just a hobby or something that I can do without injuring myself. It really is my lifeline. I have days where I feel like every bone in my body has shattered and is sticking out of my skin, but I can draw or paint something and it makes it more manageable. It's just so profound of an impact on my life that I can't even explain.